Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm from JennyCarddesigns. Thanks so much for joining me today. My YouTube channel contains content that is intended to share paper crafting tutorials and inspiration with all of you. I hope that you enjoy. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a 5x7 card project using some paper ephemera, and I'm going to be using my Jen-Velope template reference book to walk you through how to create an A7 envelope and an A7 card base. And then we're going to make a simple card using that paper ephemera. So I'm just opening up my template book here to the A7 Jen-Velope template. And I've got 2 sheets of cardstock here. This is Jen-Velope's Ivory cardstock. And I'm going to put this in my scoreboard. Following along the template measurements across the 8.5 inch side, I'm going to make 2 scores, one at 1/2 inch and then at 8 inches. And then I'll rotate my paper 1 turn and score at 2¼ inches and 7.5 inches. Okay, following along the steps in my template guide, I'm going to cut away those 4 corners, and the template guide is highlighted in dark green to identify the areas to cut off. So we're going to cut those away, and then we're going to cut off these little corners here. We're just going to create little angle cuts on all 4 corners of these little flaps here. So I'm just going to angle my scissors and cut around a 45-degree angle. I'm just eyeballing it. I just want to cut away those little corners to take away some of the bulk. So this is what we should have at this point. The next step in the template guide is to use a bone folder and crease all of the score marks. So I'm going to go ahead and fold all of these down, and you'll see that envelope start to come together. So I'm using my bone folder here to make sure that I get good sharp creases. And then the last step for this envelope is to apply adhesive to that little flap in my template guide. The yellow areas are where you're going to apply adhesive to, and then fold your envelope up and seal it all together. Use the bone folder to press in that adhesive, making sure that you get good contact. And then just for aesthetic purposes, I like to just trim a little bit away off the sides of the envelope. I think it just gives it more of a finished look. And then that's going to be it. This envelope is complete, and we're ready to create our card to go inside. So let's do that. Let's set this envelope aside, and we'll move along to the card base. So turning the page in my template book, there is an entire guide on how to create A7 card bases along with card layers for this size of card. So for today, I'm just going to show you how to cut the A7 card. If you decide to purchase this template book or you already have it, all the measurements are listed on that page. All right, so I'm going to cut the sheet down across the 11-inch side. I'm going to trim that down to 10 inches. And then I'm going to rotate my cardstock and trim that down to 7 inches. This is going to give us a sheet that measures 7 inches by 10 inches. And then we're going to pop this piece into our scoreboard, and we're going to make a score halfway through at 5 inches. And this will create our 5x7 card base. I'll use my scoreboard to help me line up that card base, making sure that everything is nice and straight. And I'll fold over and press down with my bone folder to give it a nice sharp crease. And there we go. And now we have a 5x7 card that fits perfectly inside of our envelope. Using this template guide and these measurements, you could literally turn any cardstock or pattern paper in your stash into beautiful handmade envelopes with coordinating cards. And now for the last step, let's move on to decorating that card. I have this ephemera pack. This is just some die cuts of paper feathers. They're so beautiful. They have gold foil accents in them, and I just love the colors. And so I picked up this pack from the Dollarama. It's a local dollar store near me, and I thought these would make such beautiful and elegant cards without really having to work too hard. So I really wanted to show you all the different feathers that come in this package. If you have a Dollarama near you, head on over and check out the craft section, because they have some really cool sort of paper ephemera with butterflies and all different sorts of things that you could use for your cards. and I think it creates a really beautiful stepped up look. I'm just digging through this pile of feathers, trying to decide what I want for my card. So I chose 2 for the front, 1 little one for the inside, and then 1 small one that I decided to put on the envelope. So I'm using 4 paper feathers for this card and envelope set. And then I decided to take my card base and create some interest on my card base. Instead of using an embossing folder, I'm just using my scoreboard to score some lines on the front of my card. And then this way, it'll kind of give me like a grounding layer for a sentiment and a place to sort of place my feathers. So I've just scored 3 lines vertically and 3 lines horizontally. I think you only see 2 here, but I did do 3. Yeah, I did 3. So I've got 3 lines scored there, and I think it just creates a beautiful, subtle, elegant texture to this card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this little feather on the bottom right corner on the inside of my card base. And then I'm going to glue the other 2 feathers on the front. I adhered the bigger feather to the front of the card base with tape runner, and then I used a couple of foam squares just to pop up the little feather, and I also glued the feather down to the front of the envelope. And it was really not hard work here at all. It was super simple, and we've got this gorgeous, beautiful looking card. I have a little smudge on my envelope, and I just have a little electronic eraser that I'll just buff away that little smudge. And then I have this stamp set from Jen-Velope. This is the Grand Greetings stamp set, and I grabbed that sentiment that says, "Many thanks for all you do." I thought this was a gorgeous thank you card. I've got that sentiment lined up on the door of my Misty, and I'm just going to place my magnet down to hold my card base in place. And I'm going to use some Simon Says Stamp Sage ink. This is a really beautiful green, and I thought it coordinated nicely with the feathers in that ephemera. I'm going to ink up this stamp, close the door of my Misty, and press, and voila, we have a beautiful greeting on the front of this elegant thank you card. I really love the way this turned out. I'm not going to do anything else to this card. I think it's just simple and elegant, and it really didn't take me any time at all. And our card base fits perfectly inside of the envelope. And that's it. This card project is complete. Here's a close-up look at our beautiful feather ephemera from the dollar store. This made a gorgeous card. I really love the way it turned out. I'm going to make a whole bunch more like this. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I appreciate the support as always. Coming up on screen are a couple of videos I think you may enjoy. Have yourself a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!